Welcome back to your daily escape from reality. Today, we are looking at the Titan Quest 2 early access build. One of the point and click early access build that you can check out here in the top right hand corner if you missed any of the previous ones, because today we are looking at something special. It is called none other than the No Masteries, Zero Masteries build. Let's check it out. As you can see, I finished the game, the entire game, without any masteries on. I made it a personal challenge to, you know what? I said if I can make point and click builds with single masteries only, like a storm only, earth only, whatever. You know what? The ultimate challenge would be to make a point and click build that would be one ability, one core ability, without any masteries taken. The Unblessed Challenge. That if you want to check out the entire playthrough of it, you can do so here in the top right hand corner. But without a further ado, let's check out what makes this build so special and why it is so good. So let's start out with the core mastery, which is the only mastery we'll be looking at today. And we start out with our primary attack, which is going to be a melee attack. Daggers, a dual-wielded daggers melee setup with none other than enhanced ailment only and vitality drain. We max these two out. This is going to apply some vampirism, the vitality drain, and the enhanced ailment is going to apply 20% base ailment chance and 500 more ailment chance. So a total of 150% with some 6% crit chance. Now, the main build here isn't based on crit chance. It is going to be some ailment and attack speed, which let's dive on in. Right here, as you can see, we have a cooldown of 3 seconds for our dodge. We have 4 stacks of dodges with the cooldown charge, 2 stacks of speed. So this isn't needed. This is filler. The past couple of levels, we just filled this in for no absolute reason because there's nothing else to put our points into. And then first of all, celerity. Now this is going to be one of the more important ones. After dodge ends, gain 45% increased all speed for 1.5 seconds. That is half the time of our dodge cooldown. And this is what makes this build special. Our dodge and daggers. And then finally, something that we should not look past is the barrier. And something that stands out here in the barrier. Now, of course, we do take some barrier heal. The first couple of levels, you want to take ailment cleanse to just cleanse yourself of any ailment. And then some preparation. But finally, this is where it's at. Reflecting guard for 2 seconds after use. Reflect 80% of damage taken from hits as true damage. That is Thorns damage. Okay, if you ever played Diablo 3 Crusader Thorns build, this is it. Okay, what you want to have is this up as much as possible. Now, of course, we do have to find some better gear for this build to work, but it already does. It already does, and I'm gonna show you why. So first of all, we have a 80% Thorns damage, so that gets reflected as true damage to the attacker. And then finally, this is the last thing that we took. Invigorating guard for 2 seconds after use. You heal for 300% of damage taken. That is very important because not only are you going to be reflecting damage to the attacker, but you also heal in the meantime. So this is going to be like popping a potion. But reminding myself of a potion, today we are going to also talk about, well, there's nothing else in the masteries, right? So let's go through the attributes and why these are important. So first of all, one of the most important is going to be the strike and pierce damage. Pierce damage more so because we are doing daggers. Then you want to balance things out with vigor. So you want to have the amount of HP base pool for your character. And then finally, you want to have some might for heavy armor. So whenever you start leveling up, you are going to run into a gear issue. Gear is one of the most important aspects of this build, and the more gear you have access to early levels before you start making enough money or farm bosses to make the gear work for you, you want to have the ability to unlock as much of the gear pool as possible. So you want to take some might. It also helps with, of course, the pierce damage. But finally, you want a hefty amount of agility to unlock daggers. Daggers require cunning, so fitness is not enough. And not only that, but if you find daggers that also get helped by poison damage, that is even better. And today, that's what we did. Let's go into the build, the stats, the gear that we took, and why. So first of all, you can play around with gear level, with your character level. I, for one, would pretty much advise you to try to get to +5 levels as soon as possible, because you're going to be making more money. And not only that, but you are also going to unlock some higher level gear. Now, I have a couple of stuff that I borrowed from my other characters, namely these two daggers that we literally pumped cunning into, and this is something that you can do too. Most of the gear isn't locked to level, and to me, at level 24, to have the ability to put on level 32 daggers feels so good. And I don't know why other games like Diablo 4, where when it released, do you guys remember? And I think it's the same thing till today. When it released, you only found gear like 4 to 5 levels below you. That was so anticlimactic. Here, I can put on a level 32 dagger, and it makes me feel like, bro, I unlocked the game. And not only that, but let's talk about the daggers first. So what we want to have usually is, well, of course, pierce damage is a basis, but if you can have some poison damage as well, it will help tie into more things. Also, lightning and poison does benefit from cunning. So in that case, this dagger has +11 weapon lightning damage and +14% weapon defense penetration, weapon attack damage, ailment power, and attack speed. And attack speed is what is important. The more attack speed we have, the more crit chance we have. And here we have +14 weapon pierce damage as well. And not only that, 8% base attack, cast, and cooldown speed. And cooldown speed is the second most important stat. So first one is dodge cooldown, second is attack speed, and then third is cooldown for, general cooldown speed. And let me show you. So what you want to do usually is go the route of light and medium armor, because this is going to have a 20 on average of 17 to 25 increased dodge recovery rate, which is, sometimes it's called dodge recovery, some other times it's called movement speed cooldown, movement skill cooldown, and so on and so forth. But the idea is that whenever the dodge cooldown rate goes down, this right here gets better and better, and that's what we want. We want that 45% increased all speed for 1.5 seconds. Now, if I would unequip everything, this would be somewhere around 7.5 seconds for cooldown for the dodge. But right now it's 3 seconds, so half of the time we have increased attack speed, and that's what this build is all about. For the torso, it's a light armor. We have 13 health regen. This is a secondary stat that I was trying to go after as much as possible. I wanted as much as possible health regen on top of my gear, and so we had it. And right now we're almost 50 HP per second regen, and with the barrier we are sitting in a really tight spot, and in a really good spot, I mean. And we are really tightly mowing down bosses, and it is also good for some clearing as well, as I am going to showcase today. So we are going to have a free boss fights here. I'm going to have a Hippokampos, a Pan, and a Dysepilogos boss fight. I recently found out that there's a lower level boss somewhere around here that spawns ads and skeletons. Honestly, I don't even... I don't think this is a good spot to farm bosses because there's no waypoints nearby, or I haven't found them for that matter. But the idea would be that we start out with Hippokampos, which is notorious for, if you don't know how to deal with him, it is going to be one of the hardest. But for melee builds, and for this particular no masteries build, Hippokampos is one of the easiest because you can stay close. But you know what? Without a further ado, let's start out and see how this holds up against, I think this is the same level boss. All right, here we... Oh, wait. In before, I forgot to respawn the boss. All right, here we go. So let's see how this holds up. 3 seconds cooldown. Let's see how clearing goes with this build. Might I tell you, no masteries. Dagger, heavy, medium, some light armor. A lot of stats went into this. All right, let's focus. And oh, we actually leveled up. Wow. Okay. All right, let me quickly just put a few points here and there. I don't even know where I should do it. Let's go into agility. As for the masteries, this is literally the last level. We are actually going to have a 1 point left over. So 25. Level 25 is the maximum you can go with this build, because you literally don't have anything else to unlock afterwards. Right? You could have a secondary attack. You could go into, I don't know, maybe a bow. So you could switch tab over. With the tab, switch things over. But with that said, let's get back to the boss fight. All right, Hippokampos, here we go. So we are combining a couple of things. So as you can see, I face tanked that one because I wanted to apply my barrier, and the barrier applies the thorns damage. And again, we heal up from the barrier, and not only do we heal up, but we also apply thorns damage again. And it's so far it's straightforward. One of the harder fights is going to be a Pan, because he likes to jump around, and it's harder to deal with him as a melee character. But we will deal with him when we get there. All right. Boom. Look at that burst damage that we are applying to Hippokampos. Amazing. And before I die. I was paying attention more to the barrier cooldown than my HP pool. All right, done. Hippokampos is done. That was a quick one. Now, a disclaimer. All the rest of the boss fights are going to be lengthier. This is indeed a point-and-click build, but it is a point-and-click build that is going to take time to defeat certain bosses, especially Pan. All right, let's try and do Pan now. I might even die, maybe. Who knows? With Pan. Because the problem is, he likes to stay at range, and as you can see, even certain enemies benefit from the thorns damage application. And as you can see, that strong enemy went down quite fast. Now elites are somewhat the same. One thing that I notoriously hate as an enemy You have that skeleton warlock. There are skeleton warlocks that can one-shot you, but usually they can one-shot you no matter what build you go for. So you might have to pay attention to those. All right, here we go. Let's respawn. Pan. Come on. Easy does it. I think we made some money. Yeah, we even made some armor. Oh, would you look at that? More health, but we don't have health regen. Agility. Ooh, increased dodge. What we have is just better. Yeah. Most of your gear you should aim to have rare items. As you can see, I have a level 15 ring with cooldown and weapon fire. But the most important here is that you want HP regen, you want additional damage, additional physical damage, even poison, or just sheer amount of damage. And as you can see, these level 15, level 16 rings are still viable at this later stage. All right, Pan. Here you go. This is one of the bosses that I fear the most with the melee build, because yeah, that's I mean, we have a really okay, that wasn't that bad. It could have been worse. Come on. There you go, Thorns damage. You have to time your barrier. Okay. I'm going to try and focus here so I don't die. Okay, let's all right, Thorns damage it was. That was a good barrier. Okay. That was good. That was another really good barrier for Thorns damage. Unfortunately, I can't see my character right now that well. Oh, that was another good one. Come on. No, no, no. Oh, he did. Nice. There we go. There we go. We actually, some of the attacks he didn't do this time around. So there's like a wave of fire flames that he sits in the middle, and you need to get as far from him as possible and just keep dodging. But that was a really good one. And not only that, but for loot farming, you should probably open up this too. So Pan is one of the better bosses that I like to farm, because it's so easy to just reset the game and have 2 sets of items that drop. Wow, we actually got a ring that's wow, useless. Okay, we have some weapon poison damage on it, energy barrier as well, but what we actually want is cooldown rate, physical damage, ailment power, or ailment chance. Those are all good stats, but attack speed, cooldown reduction, and dodge recovery rate should be one of the more important ones for this particular build. Now, there's another build as well that would work probably quite well as well. In the chat, someone mentioned on our streams, oh, that's not what I meant to do, but it is what happened. I meant to go to our next boss, which is going to be Dysepilogos, the final boss. And yeah, so there is a bow variant to this. I don't know how they made it work. Someone in the chat mentioned, but for me, I don't know. It makes me feel so powerful having these two daggers. But if anyone has a bow only, feel free to share it with me in the chat or in the comment section. All right, Dysepilogos. Let's go. Oh, we almost died there. Okay, I'm going to focus some more. Okay, that was really good. That was really good thorns damage. That was amazing, actually. All right, he actually damaged himself there. Let me just... Where are the ads, actually? It's interesting. Last time I did this on the boss fight, he started spawning in ads. Well, oh my god, that was so close. Wow, we actually mowed him down there. I think the ads maybe only spawn in if you go at range. So because we stood so close to him, it was actually playing into our favor. Yeah, sometimes he spawns ads if you're far away from him at the very beginning. This time around he didn't, so that was kind of neat. Actually, thank you, boss, for not doing that, because whenever he does that, you want to focus on the ads so they don't defeat you in the meantime. I wonder why the bosses did not increase in level, but that's a minor thing. What we could do is just to make sure that everything works as intended. We could raise the level of these bosses, but trust me when I say this works up to +2 to 3 levels. With Pan, it is going to be a little bit harder, but if you're doing at the same level, this challenge should be pretty easy. And if you're doing at a higher level, it should be somewhat of a challenge, but you can do it in such a way so that you don't die. And that's pretty much the entire build. It's unfortunate that there aren't many more bosses to cover, but I hope you enjoyed this build. I hope you had fun with what you saw, and let me know if you try it out, whether you liked it or whether you can compare it to one of the Masteries. With that said, thank you for watching, thank you for tuning in. I will see you guys next time. Have a great one. Bye bye.